out prior to school starting. I never said 3 in the morning. He said that the superintendent said there was somebody that had requested it at 3 in the morning. All I asked was prior to kids getting on the bus and going to school. What's the policy? What's the district's policy for notifying parents of situations?
Well, it's situational because each situation is different. So again, we want to make sure that we provide that notice, whether it's with the building level robocall or the text alert that the administrator can do at the building level. But in this case, because we had heard definitely by 7:50 that it wasn't just the 2 middle schools where some parents were talking, I thought, let's do it all staff, all schools, make sure we have a comprehensive message that goes out and make sure it's complete. So again, if the timeline had been different, the notification could have gone at 6 a.m. or at 6:30. So I do understand your frustration, and knowing something or feeling like you're stuck, especially if you're far away and you can't get back, would upset anybody. So I totally can understand you being frustrated with that.
So this is going to change in the future or not?
I will always make sure I put out a most timely notification once we know all of the pertinent facts. But our first job is to make sure we've made the decision about it. Is there actually a credible threat? Is there a jeopardy? Are our students and staff and buildings in jeopardy? If so, then of course we're going into school closure procedures and all those. It's going to be a different kind of notification. Once we had ascertained that there was no threat, then it was a matter of let's make sure we have all the facts so we can make sure we have a good, clean notification. What I am learning is, I don't know where you saw what you saw, but clearly there's maybe 2 or 3 back channels of communication that go on, accurate or not, at all hours of the night. The one I was dealing with was coming from the police department and, of course, our director of security. So I wasn't looking at what you were looking at. So again, I think it's what sites you're on or what sites I'm on or not on. But now, where did you see that one?
This was on one of the Taylor Vents pages. Someone posted a screenshot. You can have this. Somebody posted a screenshot from Instagram on the Taylor Vents page asking if anyone was aware of this and saying that, when she called the police department, she heard they had received over 200 calls and they were investigating. But at that point, I looked through the comments and everything just to see, because normally a lot of times it'll say it was resolved. And while social media may not be reliable, that's where the threat was made.
It is fast. It's definitely fast. It may not be reliable, but it's fast. I'll agree with you there.
And I think the difference is to whether it was credible. There's an investigation process that has to take place, and we work closely with the police department. Our director of security is an ex-police officer, so there's communication between them, between our superintendent, and we're not even notified in the beginning stages as board members, because do we want people making phone calls, or do we want them actively investigating the situation? The timeliness of it is what I'm hearing from you.
I mean, it sounds like everything was done to investigate this and determine that it wasn't an issue.
Right.
But the fact that it's the communication, the timing of the communication, and just like I said, as far as, the first people that should know something's going on in the district to be able to answer questions should be the people in this office. So when I call the superintendent's line, his secretary should know just as much information as anyone else in this building that there's an incident, there's something, there is a situation going on, and that way they can appropriately handle.
But that's where what I was going to say next is not everybody is notified at the same time. So
Right.
we want the key people, the superintendent, directors, administrators, whoever needs to have that knowledge. So in the future, we can look at how, if people are going to call the board office, how we answer questions and things like that. But we also have to be careful if the investigation's not complete in what we put out there if it's not accurate. And that's what I'm hearing Mr. Williams say. He did not have all the data.
I would have felt better even when I called, instead of saying I know nothing about this, I would have felt better if the response had been even something like, we're aware of it, we're working with the police department and looking into it, let me see if I can get some more information for you.
Right, and that
It was I know nothing about this that scared the hell out of me even more.
Might cause panic though, and obviously, if we determined with the police department that it was non-credible, if we thought there was an inkling of a possibility that students and staff would be in danger, school would have been canceled. The investigation would have gone on, but I think by that time, by the time school started, Mr. Williams and the police department knew it was non-credible, but still did not have all the details to
Which
put a
is
message out there.
What I would have
Is that
thought
correct?
too, until I got the response that I know nothing about this. And it's like, did you guys even look into it?
Right.
You know, so,
Yeah.
thank you.
We understand your concern, and your concern is for your children, and we're concerned about the children too. So children and staff, the whole district is a responsibility of the superintendent and board here, and school would not have started had we thought that there was any inkling or any credibility that something would have happened. So it was non-credible, and we can work on our messaging after that and come to an agreement on how that's handled in the future.
Thank you.
And do know that they are investigating, and obviously, when you dropped your children off at school, you thought it was a normal day.
I knew nothing about it. When
Yeah,
I pulled
so
up,
that's
the
what I'm
principal
saying.
was standing at the corner where the crossing guard normally is, and she was talking to a Taylor police officer, and his car was parked off to the side.
Didn't
But the
think
thing is,
anything of it.
the body language, I mean, they were both just stand, it was a very casual conversation.
Yeah.
Honestly, my thought when I saw it was, oh, maybe traffic there was crazy. And I'm like, you know what, they probably have him out here for traffic enforcement to make sure that the kid doesn't get hit. That was all I thought of it until I got to work and saw that, and I'm like, oh my God.
But even if you determine it's non-credible, the source, it's a school student, so there's probably nothing. The school still gets swept. The ground still gets swept.
I was told that that did not happen.
That
I was
happens.
told the building was not searched,
No, that happens.
because that was another question that I asked.
That happens. That's the police department's job. So,
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Motion?
Support.
I have a motion by Mr. Miller, support by Mr. Meyer to close audience participation. Any discussion? All in favor?
I
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next item, please.
Next item, 3.01, superintendent / assistant superintendent's report.
Thank you. Before I jump into the superintendent's report, I do have a few handouts that accompany it. I have received some peer-to-peer, so let me share those. First one is a nomination by Diane Downey for Nancy Carroll, ATA at Taylor Parks. Nancy is always working behind the scenes to do what's best for students. She has a positive relationship with all students and staff. Next one is again from Taylor Parks for nomination for Carol Mason, ATA. Carol exhibited extreme flexibility this month when assisting our overcrowded kindergarten classes while we were working on that issue. Thank you, Carol. And nominating Jennifer Sibb, ATA at Taylor Parks. Jennifer exhibited extreme flexibility also when assisting in our overcrowded kindergarten classes. And Downey's on a roll. Nomination for Sunshine Hernandez. Sunshine helped me with my labels and computer issues. Very, very grateful. Denise Wagoner at Kenyon. Jennifer Phillips. Jenny's a consultant for the autistic students in our building as well as our senior class advisor. Her dedication to her students is exemplary. Jennifer was nominated from JFK by Becky Metz. Nicole Otter. Nicole goes above and beyond the call of duty. She's volunteered her time with our Link crew for 7 years. She is a great teacher, also nominated by Becky Metz. All right, let me pass out the report. First off, I'll echo a comment. It's not in that first paragraph, but I'll echo a comment that Doug was sharing earlier about TBLA. I happened to be at the TBLA open house, which was last week, and was really impressed at not only the number of students and the parents and of course the staff that were there. They really had a nice turnout of all of their business partners. So Wayne State, Wayne County Community College, Taylor Teen Health Center, the United States Army, I could go on. There were probably 11 vendors, business partners, sponsors that were set up in the room, and kids were able to make professional contacts, and their parents were there, and they had nice refreshments and really good turnout. So I'm not sure if anyone made it over there on the open house day, but it was tremendous. In the first 2 hours, they had over 100 people in the room steady the whole time, and there are a little over 270 kids right now enrolled. So kind of keeping on the enrollment theme, student count day enrollment information. Again, count day was last Wednesday the 5th, and we currently have 6,739 students enrolled in MyStar. This is up just slightly from the 6,726 number that I reported at the last board meeting. This increase is our final FTE clarification of the special ed count that we're able to capture at the preschool level. So that did push it up just a hair. Now, a couple of wrinkles in count, which normally aren't talked about, but obviously we know what count day is. You simply count the number of students you have in the seat. There's a secondary piece to that, which is if a student is enrolled but absent on the 5th, then the school district has 10 days to actually have that student reappear. So sometimes the student's sick or they're out of town or whatever happens. And so right now we're in the middle of that 10-day window and then tracking those students who might have been absent. So out of the people accounting office and then out of the building offices, phone calls are going out to families for anybody who was out on count day. So once this 10-day process is concluded next week, we'll definitely have a solid number. Right now it's still just a little bit fluid. I'll skim through the second paragraph because we just had a pretty thorough dialogue about it at the podium, but I did include in here, of course, last week had some unique challenges in the area of student management and safety with the alleged clown sightings. I think we had Taylor Police and or school district police liaison officers check 5 buildings on various days as phone calls came in. Somebody said they saw a clown behind Kennedy or a clown somewhere else. Each one of those was investigated. There was nothing found in each case. And just a big thank you to Director of Security, Michelle Marshall, of course the Taylor Police Department, Dan Kresbaugh. Everyone worked really well together to help with that investigation and concluded without a credible threat.